Welcome everyone to the league. It's week 13. And a lot of shit's changed. Couple things, you know, in each division. And you know what? I'm not gonna do this fucking voice the whole time. Fuck that shit. Welcome everyone. Mm. To the league. And obviously, as you can see from the current standings, the Long Island Rune Dogs have clinched a first round bye. I think they clinched last week, but it was like a 0.01% chance that they didn't, but they won, so they went ahead and clinched uh the division plus a first round bye, the first team to do so. The Guantanamo Gorillas have clinched the South with a record of 7-4-1. All of the other three teams in the South are 5-7. This is typical South behavior or South Central behavior. This is typical South Central behavior. This is typical shit. But you know what I mean. Over in the West, again, the Cavaliers, they have not clinched the West just yet. They have clinched their spot in the playoffs, but the Finesse and now the Vietnam Voyagers at the bottom or the top, however you want to look at it, have taken over that sixth seed in the playoffs if the playoffs were to happen today. But the Voyagers do take that spot, and it leaves it wide open for, again, Voyagers, Finesse, Trolls, Tiger Sharks, Quailmen, all those guys in the South. And the Mothmen and the Titans Elite are both still technically, mathematically not eliminated. But they both have to win out for some shit to happen. If you guys want some, say, playoff scenarios, pretty much, um, this is not perfect, but I'm going to give the rundown to you because I didn't feel like typing it out. The finesse win, and they're in. It's pretty much it for them. When it comes to the playoffs. When it comes to clinching and shit, there's a whole bunch of other stuff. But for the finesse, their win and their in. The Voyagers, it's a lot more. It's a little bit more murky. They do hold, you know, a game up on everybody else, and um, checking with all of the other 5-7 teams. Let's say the Voyagers only win one and lose one, and the rest of the 5-7 teams also do the same. Or, I'm sorry, all of the other 5-7 teams win two or as much as they can. The Voyagers do have a point differential advantage over all of the other teams. So they do have the advantage. The Mothmen, for them to get in, oh boy, they got to just keep doing what they're doing, and they're going to need a lot of help from the South, making and the like, oh my God, the Mothmen need to win out, and they need a shitload of help. Let's just put it that way. Same for the Titans Elite. They're not technically eliminated yet, but I mean, they need a shitload of help. And all of the guys in the South, all of them have to win out to secure their spot in the playoffs. and they need help along the way, most likely, or in some way. So um, it's a very, very tough road, it seems now, for the guys in the South, except the Guantanamo Gorillas, who have clinched the South and are sitting pretty, but they still want that first round bye. Let's get into the power rankings. Woo. Coming in at number 12, you know who it is. It's the Miami Cartel. I mean, good God. It hurts. It hurts a little bit. The Cartel, in their most valiant effort last week, put up 141, 142 points and lost to the Rune Dogs, who put up 156. And it's kind of looking now like the Rune Dogs are the Big 12 of the league, score big points, allow big points. But man, the Cartel, even with all of that, 142 points and lose. It's tough. And that pretty much secures the Cartel with the number one pick. Coming in at number 11, you have the SC Titans Elite. Losing last week to the Cavaliers, only barely putting up 90 points. This team just looks, again, just lethargic in every way. They look fucking just old. And it's finally starting to show. It took a long time, 9 years. It took 9 years, but this team is finally starting to wither. Coming in at number 10, you have the French Quarter Quailmen. And yeah, last week, I don't know what the fuck went on. They didn't start a quarterback, didn't start a running back, had multiple guys on buys that were out and shit and everything. But I think looking at it, even if they had started all of their best guys, they still would have lost. And I don't know. This team looks coachless right now. They really need to start focusing on the team. The team feels like they don't know where the hell they're going. They've made a lot of moves during the season, but no wins are really coming of it, and no one knows what's going on. So we'll see what happens down there in the French Quarter. Coming in at number 9, you have the Midlands Mothmen. This team just does not want to die. Excuse me. The entire year, or for at least the last 5 weeks, this team has been at least two. I'm sorry, 2% or less or fewer, whatever, percentage of making the playoffs every single week. But they've never reached zero. And again, as of this week, the Mothmen have actually increased their percentage. They are up to a 1.42% to make the playoffs, which, again, comparing to the last few weeks, is pretty fucking good. The Mothmen will not die, but until they, get into the dance, I cannot put them higher than 9. Although they are probably a top 3 strength team in this league, but they cannot put it together all at once, and it's hurting for the Mothmen. Coming in at number 8, you got the Charleston Trolls. dropping down again. We've been over it. This team is fucking hurt. I mean, and they almost beat the Gorillas last week, lost by a field goal at the end of the game, and it just kind of seems like it took the wind out of the sails a little bit of the Trolls fans over in Charleston because now they're 5-7 with two other teams sitting at 5-7, and they don't know what to do. A win against the Gorillas would have put them in a very, very good spot, even if they had lost the last two. But now it's do or die for the Trolls, and we'll see what happens. And right next to them, we got the Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks, um, who are coming off a win against the Quailmen. We don't know what the Quailmen were doing out there. They were trying some new coaching, some new strats, but who knows? But the Tiger Sharks kneeled their way to an easy win, so they move up in the power rankings naturally just because. Um, Otherwise, yeah, they're just kind of here. Coming in at number 6, you have the Vietnam Voyagers coming off of a big win over the LA Finesse last week in the game of the week. Apparently, 4-point win there at the end, a little bit of a scare, but the Voyagers managed to pull that one out against the former camera against the former champion Finesse, and the Voyagers have now taken that lonesome sixth spot in the playoffs if the playoffs were to start today. But they do hold their own destiny, and let's see what they can do from here. Coming in at number 5, you have the aforementioned LA Finesse. They did just take a loss to the Voyagers, but all they have to do is win and they're in. The Finesse win any game, doesn't matter. This week, next week, doesn't matter. They win and they're in the playoffs, and the Finesse feel like they can do that. And even if they lose both, a lot of stuff is going to have to go wrong for them to lose that spot. So the Finesse are feeling pretty good right now. Coming in at number 4, you have the Columbia Dumpster Fire. Ooh. Taking a loss to the Midlands Mothmen, a team in your own division with, I mean, barely any wins to their name, basically nothing, and not only losing, but losing by about I don't know 6 touchdowns. The Mothmen put up 161, while the Dumpster Fire put up 117. Yes, the Dumpster Fire have made the playoffs. Yes, they could be resting their starters, but is this a sign of weakness for the Dumpster Fire? We shall see. The belt holder will only know. Coming in at number 3, you have the Guantanamo Gorillas. Maybe the most volatile fucking team of this entire season. This team started out incredibly hot and then we all thought was dead. What, they lose 3, 4 in a row or something like that? It was ridiculous. This team looked dead to rights, and coming back, getting some close wins, and with the help of the Trolls getting injured, and then with, well, technically should have been a win, but it was only a tie against the Columbia Dumpster Fire. This team has now clinched the South of the league. And they can chill if they want, but they won't because they want that first round bye. There's only one spot left. The Long Island Roondogs have that first spot. The only other team that is in succession for it, or is in contention for it, is the Cameron Cavaliers. And this team is looking just fantastic. I mean, we've said it every week. Where would this team be with the other coach at this point in the season? None of us will know. But right now, this team with this coach is 9-3. They have not clinched the West, not yet. All they have to do is win. If they win, they clinch the West. But I don't think they clinch a first round bye if they win. Let me check here with some stuff. 1 second, guys. If the Cavaliers win, yes, they will clinch. If the Cavaliers win, they will clinch the West. If the Cavaliers lose to the Finesse, then obviously it's up to the Finesse. But the Finesse will clinch the playoffs at that point. I love little playoff helpers. And obviously, coming in at number one, you have the Long Island Roondogs. They went ahead and took care of the Miami Cartel last week. Oh, valiant effort by the Miami Cartel of just putting everything they could all into one game. 141 points, which would win probably 10 out of the 12 games that you would play each week. But it was against the Roondogs. And that's what they needed to do. But they couldn't get it done. And they lost. Such as pretty much everyone else against the Roondogs this year. The Roondogs are 11-1, are just dominating this year. Let's get into the matchups. Matchup number one. Woo! You got the 6-6 Vietnam Voyagers at the 4-8 SC Titans Elite. And yes, these away and home things, if you're wondering, guys, are accurate. By the way. Anyways, the Voyager, I've mapped it out. I'm a fucking nerd. Anyways, the Voyagers are at the Titans Elite. The Titans Elite are not eliminated from the playoffs yet. However, if they lose, they are done skis. The Voyagers, they still have a chance to advance in the playoffs with a win. Oh, I'm sorry, with a loss. With a win, they don't clinch, but they greatly improve their chances of the playoffs. Right now, they're sitting at a very, 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 very comfortable percentage because last week was bananas. The Voyagers are sitting with a nice 85% to win. To make the playoffs. Whereas, again, the LA Finesse have a 95% chance, the Voyagers 85%, and then from a giant drop-off, okay, I might even go back. I'm going to go back to the standings. A massive drop-off in percentage to make the playoffs from the Voyagers to the next team, which is the Charleston Trolls, actually. 85% for the Voyagers. Next 9.36% for the Trolls, and then a 5% for the Tiger Sharks, 3.5% for the Quailmen, 1.5% for the Mothmen, and the Titans Elite mathematically not eliminated. It's like a 0.000 something percent. So again, this matchup, if the Titans Elite lose, they're out. Voyagers win, they don't lock in their chances, but if they win and get some other wins and losses to go their way on the other sides, then they could lock up their chances as well. But it all comes down to what happens. Matchup number 2, we got the 1-11 Miami Cartel at the 4-8 Midlands Mothmen. And again, the Mothmen are not dead yet. We thought they were dead 2 weeks ago. They're not. They're still fucking here, and now they got the Cartel, which, according to pretty much everybody this year, is a freebie. But the Cartel put up 140 last week, kind of showing the Mothmen what they're going to be about, and right now, the Mothmen are up 44-36 at halftime. But it does look like the Mothmen should pull away. But who knows? Cartel could get their second win of the season. Let's see what happens. Matchup number 3. You got the 5-7 Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks at the 5-7 Charleston Trolls. And right now, all of the games are at halftime, by the way. The Trolls are up 36-29 at the end of the first half here. And it's actually still giving a Trolls a comfortable lead heading into the second half of this game. But we do know that the Trolls are injured. They are hurt. And we'll see what they can do. But they do have Kyler Murray, their new quarterback. He's going to be starting for the first time for them. And we'll see what he can do in his first ever appearance as a Charleston Troll. Obviously, both teams are 5-7. We don't need to explain the importance. I mean, it's pretty much win or die when it comes to the South, or the Central, whatever it's been forever. You got 3 5-7 teams. Fucking typical. End of the season. Oh, baby. You win, you probably knock somebody else out, but it doesn't mean that you're in. So this is going to be a very, very tough match down to the end. And whatever team loses is pretty much out. Not mathematically, maybe. We'll see what happens with the other teams, but whatever team loses, you might want to go ahead and count yourself out. Matchup number 4. We have the 5-7 French Quarter Quailmen, who is just in that fight with the Tiger Sharks and the Trolls against the South clinching and playoff bound Guantanamo Gorillas at 7-4-1. For this game, the Gorillas could rest all of their guys and make it into the playoffs, no problem. However, they could also try and win and get that number 1 seed, and that's what I think they're going to try and do. They got the Quailmen in front of them, who are 5-7, very vulnerable, but also very dangerous. The Quailmen have been known to be able to strike out of nowhere and come up with a shitload of points. But the Gorillas can do so without fear because they know that they're in the playoffs, but they still want that, that extra bye week to help them out. However, they can do this game, without too much of a worry. But let's get on to the rivalry game of the week. We got the 7-4-1 Columbia Dumpster Fire at the 11-1 Long Island Roondogs. This game, should have been game of the week in my opinion, but I can understand why. Because the other game's not a rivalry. This game goes back. It goes way back. A lot of you motherfuckers don't remember back when these two were going at it back and forth a few years ago about some, I don't know, some bullshit. But these coaches have known to have a, not certain dislike, but let's say disdain for one another. Whenever it comes to shaking hands at the end of a game, they make it quick. Let's put it that way. The Roondogs have already clinched the East and a first round bye. They could literally play nobody and be fine. But they don't like the Dumpster Fire. They want to make sure they don't make it. Well, the Dumpster Fire have already clinched, but they want to make sure the Dumpster Fire play the hardest team there is to play possible by beating them. And if they do, they make them play themselves. The Roondogs. The Roondogs know they can beat anybody. So why not beat the shit out of the Dumpster Fire now? And then when playoffs come, and maybe they get a win, they play the Dumpster Fire again and beat them again. The Dumpster Fire don't need to win, but if they want a better seeding in the playoffs, they might want to take that win. And the Roondogs are just looking to, I guess, improve their legacy on the season. But let's get on to the game of the week. You got the 9-3 Cameron Cavaliers at the 7-5 LA Finesse, a West showdown. The Cameron Cavaliers have already clinched the playoffs. They have not clinched the West just yet, but with a win, they will. If the Cavaliers win, they clinch the West. If the Finesse win, then again, everything's open and up for grabs, as it says. I don't think the Voyagers can win the West. No, I think it's just between the Finesse and the Cavaliers at this point. I don't think the Voyagers can win the West. It is very close, but I think we're down by one game. So, yeah, no. So, Cavaliers win. They clinch the West. And I think a first-round bye. I'm pretty sure if they do, because it is against the Finesse, which is the next best team. So, I'm pretty sure if the Cavaliers win, they've already got the playoffs, but if they win, they definitely clinch the West, but I'm pretty sure they clinch a first round bye, and I'm actually 99.9% sure that they do, because the Guantanamo Gorillas cannot clinch a first round bye. I don't think any team from the South can clinch a well, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's fucking confusing. Alright? But, let's just say, whatever. With a win, they clinch. Without, it's still up for grabs, but they're still pretty good to win. Alright. Bam. Camera. I don't know. Whatever. All right. Anyways, let's get on to let's get on to the predictions. I'm trying to get this camera right. Yeah. All right. There we go. Anyways, Chunks made the picks this week. Thank you, Chunks, for making the picks. Last week, Mandy made her picks. She went 5-1. Again, this camera's fucking up. Mandy went 5-1 on her picks. The only game that she lost was the Voyagers game. I know you love your boy E-Man, but can't count out the Voyagers, baby. But Mandy went 5-1 with her picks. Very admirable, very, very good pick record, second best actually to that of only Hunter. And Hunter is the only, and Graydon. I apologize. And Graydon. Graydon and Hunter have both gone 6-0. However, the funny thing is that out of everybody so far, the only person that's gone under 50% on their picks was Hunter on his second try. So Hunter went 6-0 perfect and under 50%. Everyone else has either gone 50% or better in their picks, which is very, very good. But yeah, Chunks made the picks this week. He's got the Voyagers over the Titans Elite. He's got the Mothmen over the Cartel. He's got the Trolls over the Tiger Sharks, which is a little bit of an upset, maybe, depending on how you're looking at it, but a very close game nonetheless. He's got the Gorillas over the Quailmen. He's got the Dumpster Fire over the Rune Dogs in an upset, and he didn't even mention it. He was just like, yeah, Dumpster Fire got this shit. Over the Rune Dogs. Excuse me. And he's got his own Cavaliers taking down the Finesse. And we'll see what happens. But on to golf. Woo! Holy shit. So, where's my notebook? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Alright, so, a lot of shit happened. A lot of shit happened with golf. No, where the hell is it? Is that it? Yeah. Alright, so, yeah. So Chunks had 2 birdies, but P-Man coming in with a 4 birdie but 1 bogey to put P-Man in the lead now at 16 under par, while Chunks is sitting at 15 under par. Mandy, she had a 2 birdie, 1 bogey day, so only able to move up 1 spot to 10 under par. And then again, a big jump to pretty much everyone else who had pretty much mediocre days. It was really everything from the top there. All of the action, no one really gives a shit about 4 and down. Everyone's focused on the top 3, as it's P-Man, Chunks, and Mandy for the goal line Stein. P-Man has taken the lead, and with craziness, maybe the first time, I think, that a team with a losing record could win the goal line Stein. Because usually it's to a team that plays their guys well and gets a lot of shit, but it's shown that this team can traverse through adversity. We can call that traversity. But they're doing pretty well. But we still have 2 weeks until the end of this thing. 2 weeks. I'm sorry. What did I say? I meant 2 holes. 2 holes left. Well, not 2 holes. I guess it would be, excuse me, it would be 2 courses left. You know what I mean. Fuck you guys. Alright. You know what? Whatever. Cheers. Ah. Tastes like dog shit. But good luck, guys. Good luck this week. Also, happy Thanksgiving for everyone else as well. I wish I was there with you guys wherever you were. This time sucks ass for me over here. It's about the only time that I really hate. But yeah, happy Thanksgiving, guys, and I hope you have a good time with your family and your significant others and loved ones and yada yada. You know what I mean. But happy Thanksgiving, guys, and yeah. Until next time, fuck off.